Picture this. You're driving through the Cape Winelands, right in that Stellenbosch to Franschhoek stretch, where every turn looks like a postcard. And then you hit a gate that feels different. Not nice winery, different. More like, if you don't have an appointment, your name doesn't exist, different. Because behind that gate isn't just a house. It's not even just a wine farm. It's a billionaire ecosystem. 2 historic estates, multiple state-of-the-art cellars, a stud farm, a private car museum with over 220 vehicles, and enough legacy assets to make the word price tag feel kind of embarrassing. And today, on Billionaire Blueprint, we're doing the closest thing you can get to an exclusive tour of Johann Rupert's secret billionaire estate without crossing into anything private. Because here's the truth, this place isn't famous because it's loud. It's famous because it's built like a fortress, made of beauty. And by the end of this tour, you'll understand why some estates don't need to be for sale to be worth a fortune. The billionaire who doesn't need to show off. Johann Rupert isn't the kind of billionaire who posts a new supercar every week. He's the kind who quietly sits at the top of a luxury empire, connected to brands like Cartier and Montblanc through Richemont, then disappears back into the mountains like that's normal. And when someone like that builds an estate, they don't build a mansion. They build a world anchored in the Cape Winelands near Franschhoek in the same broader region. People associate with Stellenbosch wine culture at the foot of the Groote Drakenstein, mountains. And what makes this place so crazy is the contrast. From the outside, it looks like heritage, vineyards, and calm. From the inside, it's engineered like a luxury brand, where every detail has a purpose, a story, and a level of control that regular rich people don't even think about. So let's start the tour where every real billionaire story starts, at the gates. Tour stop number 1, the approach. 2 farms, 1 empire. Here's what most people don't understand. This isn't one property. It's a combined estate made up of 2 historic farms, Lourmarin and the Antonige Rupert estate, forming a larger Rupert Wines estate complex. And that matters because it changes the feeling immediately. A typical mansion says, I live here. This says, this runs. You're not entering someone's backyard. You're entering a system built for production, hospitality, heritage, and privacy, all at the same time. And yes, this estate is known for being the kind of place you visit by appointment, not by accident. Because this isn't just about luxury, it's about access. Tour. Stop number 2, the historic heart, where the past is literally protected. Now, before we even get to the flashy parts, you have to understand the foundation. Lourmarin isn't new money. It has deep history, so deep that parts of it are formally recognized as heritage. The estate includes a manor house built in 1811 and a historic cellar built in 1799, both restored and treated as monuments, not just buildings. And that's the first unreal feature people miss. You're not looking at expensive decor. You're looking at irreplaceable architecture. You can build a new mansion with enough money. You can't build a new 1799 cellar with a 1799 story. That's what makes places like this dangerous in the billionaire sense. Because the value isn't just money, it's time. And time is the one thing even billionaires can't manufacture. Tour. Stop number 3, the modern cellar, a wine factory built like a luxury watch. Okay, now we shift from heritage to something colder and more precise. Because after tragedy struck the family, Johann Rupert took over Lourmarin, and then he did what billionaires do best. He turned emotion into infrastructure. In the early 2000s, a state-of-the-art, gravity-fed cellar was built, designed with premium engineering choices including an underground barrel cellar and, yes, a revolving ceiling. Think about that, a ceiling that moves. Not because it looks cool, but because this place is built like a luxury product where you control temperature, airflow, function, and experience. Even the building feels like it's designed to perform. And that's why people call this a billionaire estate. Not because someone slapped a gold sink into a bathroom, but because the craftsmanship here isn't casual, it's obsessive. And it gets even more insane when you realize this isn't just one cellar. The estate is home to multiple state-of-the-art cellars, not a hobby, a full-scale operation. Tour stop number 4, the tasting rooms, luxury with a business brain. Now here's where the estate gets sneaky. Because the real flex isn't the cellar. It's how the estate turns that cellar into an experience. One of the standout stops is the Terra del Capo tasting room, positioned right at the property's entrance like a perfectly placed storefront in a luxury mall. Upstairs, a mezzanine lounge. And from there, you're not just sipping wine, you're watching the machine. You can literally look out over the estate and see parts of the bottling and cellar action, like the place is saying, here's the product, and here's the factory that makes it real. Then you've got the antipasti bar. And this part is crazy because it feels like a billionaire version of casual. Guests get a bird's eye view into the cellar through a glass wall with panoramic views of mountains and vineyards while they eat tapas-style food. It's relaxed, but it's not accidental. It's designed. And that's the theme of this entire estate. Every chill moment is engineered to feel effortless, while quietly reinforcing the idea that you're inside something big. But we haven't even hit the part that makes this estate feel like it breaks logic. Because the biggest flex here isn't wine, it's scale. Tour. Stop number 5. The scale nobody talks about. Let's talk land. Because if you only look at the tasting rooms and the pretty photos, you miss what this really is. A land empire dressed up as luxury. At one point, the estate expanded with the acquisition of hundreds of hectares of adjoining land, an addition that included vineyards, buildings, and facilities. And here's what that does. It turns the estate from luxury destination into a private region. Not in the dramatic conspiracy way, in the billionaire way. When you own enough land, you don't just buy privacy, you buy distance. You buy control of what people see, what they don't see, how close anyone gets, and where the world stops. And that's why the secret estate label sticks. Not because it's invisible, but because it's layered. Most people only ever experience the public layer, and then they leave, without realizing what they just drove past. Now, speaking of driving, we're about to enter the most unreasonably iconic part of this entire property. Tour stop number 6. The Car Museum. Because why park 220 cars anywhere else? Alright, this is where the estate stops being luxury wine and starts being billionaire personality. On the grounds sits the Franschhoek Motor Museum, and this isn't a cute little showroom, with 5 classics and a gift shop. This is a collection that exceeds 220 vehicles spread across 4 dehumidified halls, with around 80 exhibits on display at any one time. The halls total about 2,700 square meters of indoor space, basically the size of a massive luxury home dedicated entirely to cars, and the collection spans over 100 years of automotive history, including pieces like an 1898 Beeston motor tricycle. That's not car guy energy, that's museum curator with billionaire resources energy. Because think about the mindset. Most wealthy people buy one hypercar. A billionaire collector buys history and then builds climate-controlled halls just to preserve it. And here's the wild part. The museum isn't just flexing, it's integrated into the estate experience. You can literally go from wine tasting to a museum to another part of the estate using the property's own tourism flow. That's how you know this place is designed like a luxury brand. You're not just visiting, you're being guided through a narrative. But we still haven't hit the part that turns wealth into legacy. Because tucked into this estate is something even rarer than a classic Ferrari. A world-class stud farm. Tour stop number 7. The stud farm. The quietest flex on the property. Cars are loud, wine is social. But horses are the quiet billionaire signal. Because horses aren't just expensive to buy, they're expensive to maintain, train, breed, and compete. And on the lower slopes of Lourmarin sits Drakenstein Stud Farm, a massive operation, spanning 130 hectares, that's over 320 acres. For context, that's not a stable, that's a full environment. The stud farm includes facilities for breeding and pre-training, with a pre-training track running up toward the foothills of the mountains. And in the billionaire world, this isn't a hobby, it's a long game. Wine and horses both have something in common. They reward patience, they punish ego, and they turn time into value. Which is exactly the Rupert-style flex. This isn't a place built to impress strangers. It's built to produce results, quietly, over decades. Why people call it a billion-dollar estate. Now let's address the clickbait elephant in the room. Is there a literal Zillow listing that says Johann Rupert's estate, $3 billion? Number. Because estates like this don't have a normal price tag. They're not real estate. They're assets stacked on assets stacked on assets. Think about what's bundled into one ecosystem. Heritage buildings with protected history, multiple cellars and a full wine production operation. Hospitality infrastructure designed like a luxury brand, a car museum holding centuries of automotive value, a massive stud farm operation, hundreds upon hundreds of hectares in prime winelands territory, and brand equity built over decades. So when people say worth billions, what they really mean is, if you tried to recreate this, not buy it, recreate it, you'd spend a fortune and still fail. Because you can't recreate heritage, you can't recreate scarcity, and you definitely can't recreate the fact that one family controlled this land and built this legacy over time. That's what makes it feel like it defies logic. Because money alone isn't the point, control is. Final takeaway. The real luxury isn't gold, it's distance. So if you came into this expecting a secret mansion tour, here's the twist. Johann Rupert's estate isn't about one house. It's about building a world so complete, you don't need to leave it. Wine, cars, horses, heritage, views, privacy, and the more you look at it, the more you realize something. The real luxury isn't marble floors, it's distance from everyone else. The ability to move through life behind gates that most people never even notice. And that is the Billionaire Blueprint. If you want more tours like this, where we break down the hidden logic behind the world's richest lifestyles, make sure you're subscribed to Billionaire Blueprint, because the next estate we tour, it makes this one look polite.